Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing a Phantom Modern Masters draft. I think the Phantom has got to be much better overall, right? Because then you don't have to worry about looking up money cards or anything. Okay, so I'm going to need help from you guys, all right? Don't hate me because I haven't researched this set, so do not watch this as like a tutorial of how to play Modern Masters. Watch this as a... learning with Alex. Learning alongside Alex. Okay, I know what most of these cards do. Immediately my eye goes to Compulsive Research because I know this card is fantastic. 3 mana, draw 3, discard a land most of the time, which is just incredibly good. There's Banishing Stroke, which is reasonably powerful. Sylvan Ranger, which helps you out for multicolor decks. I'm looking at the Compulsive Research. I mean, Stoic Angel is a good card. Definitely good, but I don't want to just go right into Bant right off the bat. Let's just take the research. I know this card is fantastic. I feel like it's a very good start for a draft here. So remember, you're learning alongside me, okay? I have no experience with this format. I plan on doing it for a while. So, see, already starting. Look at this. Phantom Draft, Verdant Catacombs. Because it's Phantom, no one cares. So I know Moroi is good. 4 mana, 4/4 flyer, incredibly efficient. Yes, it has a downside, but not too terrible. Aether Toe is good. I do like this card a little bit. I don't know this format too well, though, so I think as we go, we're going to learn more. Exile target creature, you draw cards equal to that creature's power. And then I have to that seems okay, but I mean, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. You're drawing a bunch of cards. You're exiling something for a turn. I think I'm just going to take Moroi. There's also Augur of Bolus, which is reasonable. But let's take Moroi. Like I said, this is a pretty cheap finisher, honestly. So we could follow up with a Grizzly Spectacle, which is good removal. We have Abrupt Decay, which is reasonable removal as well. Guy's Anthem, definitely good. Definitely good. Lord Effect for all of creatures is very powerful, especially in some sort of tokeny build. I imagine the token deck is green-white. There's a Death Head Cobra, which I played a lot of. Death Hood Cobra, not Death Head. Aether Toe, like I mentioned before. Grizzly Spectacle is pretty reasonable removal. Deals with most things. No artifact creatures in here, so I imagine this thing is going to be able to deal with most things. Like I said, there's Guy's Anthem, which is very, very strong. It's quite the branch out, but I think I'm actually just going to take it. Like, this card is just good. Buff your whole team for 3 mana? Like, how can I not? Okay, so we could take the Misty now. Ooh, foil Misty. So we could take that. Fixes pretty well for us right now. Otherwise, there's an Augur of Bolus, which is reasonable. Is it Guildgate, which we don't need? Seal of Primordium. To be honest, I don't know how many artifacts and enchantments there's going to be. I mean, we know about the Signets, right? So there's artifacts. We have a Guy's Anthem, which used to be rare. It's uncommon in this set. We'll just take the Misty. It's good fixing. Green-blue? Is that even a thing? Am I going to be exploring new territory here? Probably. Am I just going to get wrecked by aggro? Please say no. Please say no. Okay. What have we got now? Ghostly Flicker. Not feeling that. Giant Baiting. What's the best card in here? So this card's actually really good. 3 mana, 2/2. This card seems to work the best with the Guy's Anthem. Which I would say of our 3 cards, actually, I was going to say Guy's Anthem's the strongest for a 3. That might actually be true. Compulsive is incredibly strong, though. Yeah, I mean, oh wait, the Sensor Splicer, too. I feel like paying 3 mana for 1 less power and getting first strike out of it. Yeah. There's also a Pitfall Trap. Just some removal. but we'll take the Attended Knight. We'll give it a try. Zur the Enchanter. So I guess I could theoretically play this. So 4 mana, 1/4 flyer, and then you can search for enchantments. This is pretty cool with Gaia's Anthem. Too bad it's not on color with it. So another Attended Knight, a Fists of Ironwood, which is good as well. I like getting these. These seem really good in this format, though, right? Because Burning Tree Emissary is now common. So this would allow you to first strike, block and kill it. It puts another body on the board. I kind of like that. There's also the Fists of Ironwood, like I said. I may actually want to take Fists. I may want to opt for Fists of Ironwood over Attended Knight here. The main reason being because we have the Gaia's Anthem, and that's the whole reason that we took the Attended Knight in the first place. So I think I'm actually going to take that. There's also Coiling Oracle, by the way, which is a great card. Okay, so Intangible Virtue. I mean, that's pretty awesome with the Fists of Ironwood. Do we want to just go deep on... I kind of want to go deep on a token build. Just go all the pump effects, and then... We're going to need a lot of token producers to make this work, but it could be potentially very, very good. And this is... I used to play a token build, so I think we take the Virtue over the Fists of Ironwood because it's uncommon. But we're going to need as many Fists of Ironwood as we can get if we're going to make this work. But we'll take the Virtue for now. So there's a Hookmaster. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you get a 1/1. Well, I mean, it's kind of on theme with what we're doing. There's also Forbidden Alchemy, which is good. I mean, we have the Misty, so we can at least splash blue. And then we really can play Bant. But then the flashback never really happens on this, so maybe it's not that good. Could take the Hookmaster. This is good because it can just buy you time. Yeah, I guess we'll take the Hookmaster. Not a tremendously exciting card here, but we'll take it. Okay, Eyes in the Skies seems like something that's right up our alley, but so is Slime Molding. Yeah, they're both good for our deck. 2 more removal spells in here, and admittedly we have none. But I think my issue is basically if we're gonna go deep on pumping tokens, you want a bunch of cards that make a bunch of tokens. I think we're gonna take Eyes in the Skies over Slime Molding, and I don't even know if that's right. But my thinking is that making multiple bodies is gonna be better for this sort of Lord effect plan that we're going for. Soul Warden seems like a fantastic fit for this deck if we're spitting out a bunch of dudes, right? Not a great card in general, but there's nothing else we really need here, especially like the Augur, because I'm not even entirely convinced blue's going to happen anymore. It seems like green-white tokens is the direction we want. So this seems like it's good for buying the time you need because our deck is going to be able to do a lot in the late game. We'll take the Ether Toe now. Yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense for our deck because we're going to be potentially spitting out a lot of bodies. And it's essentially mono white. So Graceful Reprieve, not what we're really looking for anyway. So Ether Toe it is. We'll take the blue card here. Trumpeter is actually a pretty reasonable card. I like what it does. It's actually very good. Could we end up... well, I'm not going to play Augur. You know, maybe we splash for Thundersong. We'd have to have a lot of fixing, I admit. But, I mean, this kind of fits with what we're doing too, to a certain extent, right? If we're making a bunch of tokens, pumping them up. Okay. Scourge Devil. Madcap Skills is... Seeing the second to last is surprising. This card is very, very strong. This puts people away. This for the... Okay, last pick is a black card. I'm not entirely sure if that's a sign. There's no basic land in here, so it's probably not a sign. There's another Misty in here. We could have the multiple Misty deck. But so far, the only blue card we have that's worth splashing for is Compulsive, which absolutely is worth splashing for. So Unflinching Courage. This card is so strong. This card is so strong. I mean, the problem is we don't have great bodies for it, but it's so good. It's used to just put people away. You put it on an evasive creature, and it's GG's. There's Ground Assault, which is great removal. Centaur Healer, which is on color. 3 mana, 3/3, gain 3. I mean, that is very good. It still works well with our Gaia's Anthem. It's also common, though. Courage, I think Courage is what we're going to go for. I just know this card is very, very good. And yes, it's an aura, but Like I said, it really does just sort of put people away. So I'm gonna take it. We've got the flyers for it, right? Can find some more. So we have a Penumbra Spider, which is good. Makes tokens and stuff. We have Death Hood Cobra, which is good. And I think that's all we're really looking at. There's a Gift of Orzhova, which technically is on color as well. It's actually pretty similar to Unflinching Courage. Maybe I should have mentioned the one I saw earlier. So really we're looking at, I think it's between Death Hood Cobra and Penumbra Spider. You can really never have enough cheap cards. And this does a lot of similar things that Penumbra Spider does, which is nice. This is 2 bodies put into one, but this is cheaper. I'm not sure which one I like more. To be honest, I really like them both. I like them both a lot. There's also a Gruul Guildgate worth mentioning since we do have the Trumpeter and the Madcap and the Scourge Devil. I think I'm going to go for the Spider. I don't know if that's right, though. I'm going to go for Spider, though. I guess the main... It doesn't get Death Touch, though, and it's 2 more mana and 1 more color. Ah, that's tough. All right, I changed my mind again. We're going for the Cobra. The Death Touch is pretty good. It's less color intensive. That's tough, though. A Gruul War Chant. Okay. Yeah, that is actually really good. Gideon's Lawkeeper is fantastic. That card is very good. I definitely know that. This is green removal, which is actually... I see. But so this is still great green removal. I'm going to take Lawkeeper, though, I think. Because we want as many creatures as we can for these Anthem effects. Although Virtue's, I admit, not looking as good. Am I supposed to maybe go back into something else? This card was always interesting. I remember playing that. Gruul War Chant still could consider it's yet another Lord effect, though. I just know Lawkeeper's good. We're going to take it. We have enough white spells where I don't feel bad about it, and it just... Locking things down is good. So what do we have now? Another crack at Gift of Orzhova. There's Explorer, which does technically ramp, but we don't really need it. Blink, we're not blinking, I don't think. It's possible we're just getting cut in our plan from this direction. Entirely possible. I don't know how good Explorer is outside of a deck that needs to play additional lands. It doesn't strike me as something that great. Strength in numbers is definitely... Well, unfortunately, it's attacking creatures. It's not just number of creatures you control, which does make it worse, but it does give trample as well, which is very good. There's also Seal of Primordium. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure here. I think we'll take a strength in numbers now and just get 1. Gift of Orzhova is very good, too. I maybe wanted to take that. I'm not 100%. So there's Slime Molding, but I think we're going to take another Attended Knight. I like the idea more of getting multiple bodies, although Slime Molding with Intangible Virtue is very good. You get like a 5/5, and then it's a 6/6 Vigilance. Like, that's really good. But I think we're just going to take the Knight because they're both good for our deck. They're both very good for our deck. It's also a Dragon Fodder in there, more token producers. So... Pyromancer Ascension. It's a rare, unfortunately, so it'd be hard to make that deck, but I think we'll take the Arachnus Web now, get a removal spell. Could take the Skyfisher. This card's good. It actually works really well in conjunction with Fists of Ironwood. Does it work well with anything else? It's okay with Hookmaster, but really not much else. I could use more creatures, but I feel like the web is good removal, and currently we basically just have an Ether Toe and a Gideon's Lawkeeper, so having removal for little things can be useful. Hungry Spriggan. This card's sweet. 3 mana 1/1 Trample, which isn't good, but beats down for 4/4. I'm not exactly sure this is the right deck for it. Woolly Thoktar is good. Is there any way we can make the red work in here? Because I could consider this. I mean, we still have a chance. A 3 mana 5/4 is never going to be bad. A 3 mana 1/1 is definitely going to be bad sometimes. All right, let's take the Thoktar and be ambitious. There's also a Sky Knight Legionnaire in here as well. So another Ether Toe. Here's the red fixing. We're not aggro, by the way. So I'm okay with that. Revive brings back, I guess, Guy's Anthem Web, Strength in Numbers, Cobra. Some decent cards, but we'll take the Signet, I think. Signet into Woolly Thoctar is a little bit awkward. It's not like it's bad, but it feels like, I don't know. Going your 2-drop that's supposed to bring you into a 4-drop into a 3-drop is not quite as good, but I guess we'll take it over a second Ether Toe. So some black cards and red cards in here. Dynacharge is good, sort of with the plan we're doing, but I guess now we'll take the Seal of Primordium, I think. I could take the Rubble Belt Maka. Scorch Rusalka is good with tokens, but not when you're splashing red. Bone Splinters is good with tokens as well, but we don't have the way to splash for black. I'll take the Seal. I don't think we're going to main deck it, though. So Golgari Signet would let us splash black. I mean, it seems like we're supposed to be in black now. But this could have been, you know, also the bane of Pack 2, right? Because Pack 1, I feel like we made this just fine. We got 2 Anthem effects and some good token producers. So this pack has been bad for us, but that doesn't mean Pack 3 is necessarily going to be bad for us. I just took the Signet because I guess I don't need any of this. Take the Lancer in case I go deeper red. Okay, we got the Gift of Orzhova back. Something squirrely's going on here. Is this card just not good? Because I remember it being really good. In fact, I'm almost looking at it now and thinking it's better than Unflinching Courage, but I'm not 100% on that either. I guess we'll take the Germination. I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, black is definitely open, but last pick Madcap Skills. So here's a Desecration Demon. What else do we have in here, though? So here's a Call of the Conclave. I think this is like exactly what our deck's looking for. It's unfortunate that it's in the same pack as an Intangible Virtue, but Call of the Conclave, exactly what we're looking for. We'll see if anybody else is in the token deck. I think, which one are we more likely to wheel? I mean, they both go in the same deck, so it's hard to say. But we'll definitely take Call of the Conclave here. We need more creatures, and Call of the Conclave is terribly efficient. So if we wheel the Virtue, I'd be happy. I mean, there's a lot of good cards in here. Demon, Thrynax, Splinters. Although Splinters wheeled last time. So at least Demon, Thrynax, the Signet maybe. Unfortunately, there's so many gates in here that I just do not think Virtue's going to wheel, sadly. But like I said, I actually just need the Call of the Conclave here to even justify the Intangible Virtue at this point. I do have a couple of Tinted Knights. So Jungle Shrine is perfect fixing for our deck. So I probably just take that over. God, Falconwrath Noble would be so good for us too. This card is so ridiculous at common. Might of Old Krosa. Another Arachnid Spell. We'll just take the Shrine. It just seems right. There's also a Pitfall Trap, which definitely be good for us. Hard removal, but I want to make sure we can play red cards if we have to. Although, I mean, it's basically just like a Woolly Thoctar and maybe a Trumpeter. I do stand by Trumpeter being pretty good, though. All right, so we'll take the Jungle Shrine. So Arachnid Spinner. We don't even have a... This is cool, though. This works pretty well with the web that we already have. There's a Lone Missionary in here, which is actually very good against aggro. There's a Slime Molding. Another crack at Slime Molding, yeah. I kind of want this Arachnid Spinner, though. It's a good top end to have, and we actually have the card that works pretty well in conjunction with it, right? And you can take it out of your graveyard, too. Wait a second. Because it can tap itself, and you can get it out of your graveyard, so even if it goes away, you can just keep bringing it back. Let's take it. This used to be rare, so I'm taking over Slime Molding, which I definitely would take as well. I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting, not in the suicidal way. So here's a Sensor Splicer. I think it's just too much of what our deck's trying to do. I really like the Gruul War Chant as well. Sundering Growth is in line with what we're doing too because we have tokens, but I'd still rather have... This definitely used to be rare too, by the way. Yeah. We'll take the sensor splicer. Let's get rid of the madcap skills. It's not that they're bad, I just don't think this is necessarily the right deck for it. So we could take another Woolly Thoktar. Currently our fixing is Jungle Shrine and Boros Signet, which is not bad. We could take the Slime Molding now. Basically, I take Woolly Thoktar because it's terribly efficient. There's also a sensor splicer too. All of these are good. Woolly Thoktar is going to be busted with Gift of Orzhova or Unflinching Courage. We're not super color intensive. We have one double color spell and that's it. I think I'm going to go for the Thoktar. I don't know if this is right, but this card is incredibly strong and we have a couple pieces of fixing already. I'm hoping to find more if I get lucky. So now we'll take the Sensor Splicer, I think. Another just cool token producer. Take it over the Soul Warden and the Explorer. Here's a Guildgate. That's perfect. Exactly what we're looking for. On-color Guildgate is my friend. So we can take Ether Toe. This is 2 color intensive in red. Giant Baiting is not quite what we're looking for. Arachnus Web is good. Arachnus Web is real good with the spinner. I would take it over Ether Toe solely for that reason. There's also Lone Missionary. I'm going to take the web, though. Considering we have the spinner, it kind of makes sense to me. Because you can do it right away, too, which is just awesome. All right, we'll take the web. Gruul Guildgate. More fixing? All the fixing. Oh, but we got the Virtue back. All right, I'll do a count on creature tokens, but I actually don't think we have enough to justify a second one. In fact, I'm going to consider strongly the first one, because we might just be on a Guy's Anthem plan. Let me see here. We've got Fists, Call, Knights, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. I'm still going to take the Gate. We just need to hit our red spells. We want a turn 3 Woolly Thoktar. Too much. Too badly do we want a turn 3 Woolly Thoktar. I mean, the double Intangible Virtue is fine, but considering we only have 7 token cards, I'm actually considering cutting it, to be perfectly frank. I think I'm going to cut the Lancer, though. That's not worth splashing. Scourge Devil's looking less like I want to splash that, too. We'll take the Pitfall Trap now. This card's just good. It's just good removal. It is without flying. That is relevant. But I'm still going to take it, and I'm pretty positive we're going to play it, too. So our deck is actually pretty good. I mean, we're creature light, but we'll just take and play this Lone Missionary to fix that problem, right? Yeah, Giant Baiting's cool, but we want actual creatures that prolong the game because we've got a great late game plan now. Our late game plan is just phenomenal with the spinners and all our little token producers and the Courage and the Gift and the Thoktars. So this deck's cool. We're going to play 17 lands. And like I said, I think the Virtue's going to go. Probably Strength in Numbers is going to go too. We're just too light. Oh man, Gruul War Chant. I mean, I want to. I mean, I'm taking it here, so I guess that's all right. But, Another seal. I mean, I don't need anything else. I don't really need Orzhov Signet, so all right. Let's cut the Strength in Numbers. I think Virtue's going to go. So we're Naya. What are we? We're Naya tokens, sort of. By the way, I don't think this deck is bad. I don't think our deck is bad. We actually have some very powerful, efficient things. We ended up getting more than enough removal. I'm trying to think of the true weakness of this deck. It's not immediately coming to mind. We're a little bit creature light. I think Gruul War Chant's going to go too. I love the card, but I'd rather play the Anthem. I'd rather have just +1/+1. I think. Yeah, because this is attacking creatures only, so this is just very powerful. So we can't cut a creature, but we do have to make some cuts. So let's get realistic here. Oh yeah, Fists of Ironwood is actually so we really have 15 creatures, which is reasonable. So we want to make oh, we only have to make 1 cut. That's not bad. That's not bad. So we're playing the Signet to just ensure that we play Thoktar on turn 3. in addition to the Shrine and the 2 Guild Gates, which I'm very happy we picked up. Misty Rainforest is unnecessary. It deck thins, but the 1 life in basically our weakest matchup, I assume, is like a hyper aggro deck. So why would I want to play something that I had to pay life for just for a little bit of maybe not getting mana flooded, you know? So yeah, feel free to. I'm okay with you guys criticizing, by the way. I get it if I could have had a better deck. Remember, I'm trying to learn along the way here, so if you want to be constructive in your criticism, I would appreciate it. I would very much appreciate it. So I could go down. I'm willing to cut. I said I didn't want to cut a creature, but I'm willing to cut a Hookmaster. It does buy time. Is Soul Warden going to end up disappointing me, being a 1-drop 1/1? Or do I really need the life gain? Like, Soul Warden is obviously good with some of the cards in our deck, the multiple token producers, but it can't be that good overall. So I probably actually end up cutting Soul Warden. It's like basically every other card in my deck has some utility, right? Like Hookmaster buys us time, gives us a blocker. Lone Missionary buys us time, gains us life. Attended Knight buys us time, gets buffed with Guy's Anthem. Soul Warden doesn't necessarily buy us the time we want, right? Because, like, say you top deck a Hookmaster, you just drop it and you tap something. Say you top deck a Soul Warden, it doesn't do anything. And Eyes in the Sky is a creature too. Well, that's perfect. Now it's perfect. So we'll cut the Soul Warden because I think that's actually the weakest creature in our deck. Now, granted, splashing for Thundersong Trumpeter is at the very least questionable, but I like the utility creatures. And now, keep in mind the difference, like, upon looking at them immediately, you think Trumpeter's a better card because you don't have to pay mana, but this doesn't actually tap them. This taps them, which is much more useful. So this just sort of protects you or lets you potentially get by on an Alpha Strike. So it's still very good. It's just don't look at it and think it's much better than Lawkeeper, because that's certainly not true. In fact, I would argue that Lawkeeper is just straight up a better card at common than Trumpeter, even though you have to pay the mana. So keep that in mind. In fact, if there were something like, I don't think Soul Warden's better than Trumpeter though, even on the splash. I can do one more count to see if Virtue's worth playing. So we've got Fists, Call, Tended Knights. That's 4. 5 Eyes in the Sky, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 is just low enough where I don't feel comfortable running Intangible Virtue. So, yeah, this looks good to me. Let's get our land all nice and tidy, right? Because how many red spells do we have total? This is white. This is white. We have oh yeah, I said we weren't color intensive. I guess that was a bit of a lie. But we only have 3 red spells. 3 red spells I could totally get away with, I think 5 red sources and feel comfortable. Let's see what they say. They say 1. Oh, no thank you. No thanks. All right, so we need more green, I guess. All right, we got to do a little bit of math here, but I'm okay with that. So this would be 5 sources of red. This would be 7, 8 sources, 8 sources of green. Sorry, 5 sources of red, 8 sources of green, and 8, 9, 10 sources of white. 10 sources of white is a lot, but it might be correct because we do almost have twice as many white spells as green. So 10 white, 8 green, 5 red is not bad. It's not bad. I could go to 9 and go up to 6 sources of red, but does that seem excessive for 3 spells? It kind of does. Does 8, I think 8 sources of green is enough though. Like it's going to make Deathhood Cobra a little more awkward, but we want a good balance. So I think this is fine. I think this is good actually. So I like this. This looks good. I did my math right, right? 8, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. So we have enough land. We have the right lands. 5 sources of red, 8 sources of green, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 10 sources of white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was wrong. 9 sources of white. So 9 white, 8 green, 5 red. And then another one from this. This is good. This is a cool deck. It's not what I initially set out to do, but I think this deck is actually fine. I think it's got some cool aspects to it. We'll at least see how it plays. So we'll run it like this, and we'll see you round 1.